Okay, welcome to the second half. You can see I did the exercise of the color wheel with Saddam, and I started drawing out my materials as well. And I'm just going through the set of materials that I normally take with my go-to pack. And this is the smallest amount that I normally take with me. Obviously, you can go even with less than I pack in here. But this is just a nice pencil case that's got enough space for me, and I can pop it into my handbag, and it even has space for a little book that I will use as well. So my first go-to will be a clutch pencil that I put in. This one is a 0.5, a 0.7 also works well, and I normally choose an HB to a 2B to use my clutch pencil. So that will be the first thing I put in. And I've got a little refill in there as well, because what is nice about that, it's got its own eraser and you don't have to sharpen it, so you don't have to carry a sharpener with you. Then the next go-to for me will be a water-soluble pencil, a graphite pencil of some sorts that actually works very nicely. And I love sketching with these. You can see it can actually make quite a dark mark if you work with your brush on top of it. So, and it leaves a little bit of the pencil marks as well. This Krita color one, you can actually work a way that you can't see the actual pencil marks at all. So you can see it can actually create quite a nice dark wash with this. So these will be, one of these I will put into my go-to little bag. So this is the next one that I'll put in, just one of them. So if we have too many options, then it makes it very difficult for you to choose where you're on site and you have to draw. Okay, so the obvious next thing that I will take is my brush pen. Now it's not a good quality brush, but it is worth taking with because it carries its own water. So if you, and it just takes out like that, and you fill it with water, and then just remember it screws on the wrong way. And then I carry this with me. Okay, so even if you just take that one and your little brush pen, you've got enough to do a drawing by itself. Then the next thing I'll take with is another water-soluble pen. So, and you get a variety of these ones. And the ones that I like to use are my fountain pen. I love using my fountain pen. And I've got a converter in there, so I put my own sketching ink in there. And you can see it's quite nice and dark. This one is called the Lamy Vista. And remember, we're all about learning how to use our materials. So this is the Lamy Vista, and you can see the color that I've used is a very nice deep purple ink that shows up quite nice and bright. Then I love the Pilot fine liners. Now I'll show you the one that I've used here. And you get them in different colors. This now is a light brown. So it doesn't actually say on the pen that it's a water-soluble one. But if I go to the shops, stationery shops, I normally take my brush pen and my water brush, and a little notebook, and then I'll test it to see which ones are water-soluble. So this one is a very nice one. It's a Pilot G-Tech C4, and it has a very fine line, which I really like, but it's also water-soluble. Okay, so all of these will dissolve when used with water. And the brown pen actually makes for a nice pink color underneath as well, where the Pilot is a soft gray color, very nice and soft. And I'll take one of these. In this case, I'm going to take my G-Tech 4, and if I have space, I'll take another one. Okay, so I'll change the kinds of pens that I take with, but as long as it's water soluble, I will take it with me. Right, then the next one is a permanent pen. Now, permanent pens, you also get a variety. I like the uni pens and I like the micron pens, so I'll take that with. And again, they come in different thickness. So this one is a 0.2 uni pen, and it will not dissolve in water. And that is another one that I'll take with. Okay, so that's enough pens for me. Then the other things that I take with is the brushes. Now, I've got my water brush, but I like to take my own brushes that I really like using. Now, these two are really nice brushes. They're affordable. This one is a bit more expensive. It's called a Kum Memory Point brush, and it's a German brand. And what I really like about this one, it makes a variety of marks. So you can use it as a flat brush, and it also makes for a very thin point as well. So it's almost like a rigger. So it actually works very nicely. And I'll pop that in, as long as it fits into my little bag without damaging the top of the brush, the hairs of the brush. And this one is my other go-to. At the moment, it's a Montmartre mop brush, and it also makes a nice variety of marks, and it can hold a lot of water. As you can see with this yellow paint that I've put down here, it actually holds a lot of water. You can see it goes quite far before it runs out of water, which is quite nice. Now, just the two brushes on its own is already enough. If you just have to take one, I would take a round brush, probably, because it has a sharp point, but it also has a belly that can take some water. And that will be the collection of brushes that I'll take with. Okay, but now I've still got some space over here. Now for this, I will use my small little watercolor tin, and I pop in the colors that I like. So these are all tube colors that I've put in, and I don't often clean the palette itself because I like the colors to actually mix with the previous colors. And I say do all my cool colors on this side and say the warm colors on that side. You can obviously clean it with a wet wipe. It's easy to clean it out. And then when this is quite dry, to activate it, I use a little dropper like that, and I will just drop in the water like that, just to wet it a little bit so that it's easier for your brush to pick up the pigment and then to use in mixing. Right, rather than your spray bottle, because this is metal and it rusts quite quickly. So, but I do take my spray bottle with as well. So, this is my watercolor. So I've got my watercolor tin. There's space for it in here. And then I can add a few other things as well. I've got a little book that I can use, and I know the Urban Sketchers actually love using this little book. It's a Potentate small little book. It can handle a little bit of watercolor, but these ones also a Potentate. I don't know if I pronounce it correctly, but it's a very nice little book to do some sketching in, and it's just the right size to actually pop into here. Right, then obviously there's some more space in here. So if I have to put something else in there, I would probably put my spray bottle in there, because I can also use it as a water container. I can use this as a water container like that. And I can also use that to wet my paper or to clean the surfaces. So it's got more than one purpose. Right, so that will be my go-to. Now, when I go out, I like to challenge myself and say, okay, this time I'm going to take my permanent pens. I got this as a present and they are very nice to use. So they've got different colors in there, and I'll force myself to work with these colors by just putting that in. If I put too many things in, then I get confused and I don't know what to choose. So I could put in those. I could choose to put in some of my ink tints. Now you can see I don't want to take all of them. So I'll probably just take, say, start off with, let's just start off with a primary to make it easy and understandable for most people. So I'll take those three, and then nice to haves. I love the pink, for instance. I work a lot in greens. I'll probably take, say, 2 greens. And if I'm going, depending on where I'm going, I might take an extra yellow, and I might take an extra blue, a nice dark blue, an ultramarine blue. So yeah, so I'll take, say, for instance, those instead of using this whole lot that I have to look after, and then I'll just take those. I can pop them in here or in here. I'll pop them in there. And as I said, I always put my name and number in, so that if I accidentally leave it behind, which has happened in the past, people are able to contact me. So for this little space here, I normally keep place for the paper towels or my membership cards or anything like that that I want to keep with me. So this is my go-to setup. Then I've got a bigger bag like this that I would take along when I go out for a weekend or for longer periods of time, and then obviously I will fill that with more things, more variety of things, and I will also put in a white jelly pen, and these are some very nice brushes. This is also travel brushes. This is one set of travel brushes, and those are enough to work with. And again, my watercolor, because watercolor is sort of my go-to. And then I've got some colorful pens that are fountain pens that I really love. I put in there. And in this little case, there's lots more space. So I can add, say, my gelatos or my Caran d'Ache, other pens or highlighters or whatever I want to use there as well. And sometimes I'll even put in a little scissor like that. This is a very neat little scissor that I also got as a present. But you can't travel with this in an aeroplane. They actually confiscate it. I couldn't believe it, but they find that this is dangerous, so they will confiscate this. Another set of travel brushes are very nice to use are these, because they are in their own little cases like this, and they come in different sizes, but it protects the hair. And you can make it a bit longer if you want to make it a bit longer. But these are the normal round brushes, and they come to a sharp point. So they're very nice to work with. So the idea is that don't start out with too big of a variety of things, and then add to it as you go out on outings and try out new materials and see how they work. And if you really want to, you can take both and pack them with different things, and then see how that works. Okay, I think that was more or less what I spoke about last week, if I remember correctly. And yeah, my advice is always take a little bit less and challenge yourself with different materials and every time, and see how that works. Okay, until next time, thank you.